Good day, good evening, wherever it is you may be. My name is Zach, and I am one of the lost. Today is January 22nd, 2021, and I had a friend ask me what it was like to actually go backpacking and camping, that he didn't understand all the stuff he saw on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And I started thinking about it. And yeah, that's not really an accurate portrayal of what it's like out there. Last time I went out, I think I took maybe like 8 photos, made like 3 videos. But you guys didn't see what it was really like out there. It was cold at night. I think I got maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Not even a solid block either. I was tending a fire all night, so it would get really nice and toasty, and then I'd fall asleep, and then the fire would go out, and I'd have to remake it. Um, it's pretty exhausting. I got rained on. Not really like a solid like storm rain, but yeah, man, I was wet in the mud. Good God, the mud. Every 3 steps, I am literally knocking the mud off of my feet. Like it was frustrating. It got to a point where I was actually walking through the vegetation, trying to keep the mud off of me, and it was not easy. That was I gotta say the mud is probably the worst thing that I actually did out there, but I still wouldn't have changed any of it. Now, those of you that want to go backpacking for the first time, or even just camping and hiking, you kind of have to prepare. It's not what social media portrays it to be. It's some of these destination photos you guys see. That's actually really dangerous and hard to get to. Like I just saw one earlier. It's like a drone like flying through stuff like super fast, and there is a person just like up on top of this rock or something. And it didn't look easy or even safe to get to. I saw one from, I think it was like Norway or Iceland, where it's a literal cliff face, like probably, I think it said something like 700 or 800 feet, and there's like a person just like sitting there. These are like incredible photos, amazing destinations, but I can only imagine the amount of time and prep, physical exertion it took in order to get to these places. Like, you can't just wing this stuff. The photos that you see on my Instagram page, a lot of those I actually took while I was working, believe it or not. I used to work for a tower company, and some of these cell phone towers are in like really remote areas, and I had the physical gear I needed to climb up these poles to take these photos. We're talking like 60, 80 feet with like 20 pounds of gear. It wasn't easy. It wasn't incredibly safe, but it was safe if you knew how to use the gear. Same thing with backpacking. If you don't have any knowledge on how to survive out there, it's gonna be rough. And I'll tell you right now, it is boring at certain points. Like there is going to be more than a few times where you're like, I should just turn around and go home. This is too much. This is ridiculous. I'm literally sitting here doing nothing, and a person like me, that's kind of half the fun. But that isn't for everyone. So if you guys are gonna go out like hiking, that's one thing. Day hikes are simple point to point here. But when you're hiking 30 miles, 40 miles, there are people out there that will hike hundreds of miles. Those are the through hikers. And I gotta say, those people are incredible. Guys will cover like 18, 20 miles a day. I might be able to do 8. So I'm not really in the physical shape required in order to make that happen. My backpack alone is probably 30 pounds. And I'm sure there's some people watching that are like, oh God, 30 pounds, you need to lighten that up. But I'm going to say I use almost all of that. And I'm a fairly big guy. 6 foot and 200 pounds, relatively in shape. I don't know. I got kind of a belly I'm working off here, but who doesn't? But yeah, man, it's kind of it's a physically demanding activity, to say the least. And some of these areas are not exactly the safest areas to get to. So yeah, man, that's kind of what it's like to actually go out backpacking. Like the stuff you see on social media, dude, that's like day 5, and that's probably the only sunrise they actually saw. Most of the time, you're going to be under the tree layer. It's not going to be incredibly like gorgeous per se. Like you might go 2-3 days to take a photo. Like I know guys that have taken photos that are just absolutely breathtaking, and ask them where they're at, and they kind of described to me the trip that they took, and I'm like, oh God, that's really the only photo you actually guys took, isn't it? And they're like, yeah, it was cloudy, it was raining. Like one day we had incredible winds so bad that we had to actually make camp in an area that we weren't planning on making a camp in, and they had to hunker down and just like wait for this storm to go past. And once it did, like that's when they got that photo. But like, dude, their tents collapsed. Like they had to fix that in the middle of like a windstorm. Like that. That's kind of what it's like out there, man. It's really wild. And when I say wild, I mean wild, like Wild West. Like there's no rules. You're out there on your own. I'm gonna tell you right now, you are not the top of the food chain out there. Like you might be the top of the food chain in a city, but out there are predators that can and will eat you, like bears, mountain lions. Some of these places have wolves. I know grizzly bears have a tendency to be really docile, but occasionally, man, they'll go after anything. Um, Black bears have been known to go after humans as well. Mountain lions, definitely. I said in a video not too long ago, like there's a mountain lion a hiker came across a mountain lion and it chased him away, like 10 minutes down the road, and he was just backing up the whole time, screaming "F you, get away! You're a big cat!" Trying his best to be, big and scary, just like everyone always says you should be. That didn't scare that cat at all. That cat was out to protect his young, and it was gonna die trying. So yeah, if you guys are gonna go out and backpack, please do your research, especially on the areas that you're gonna be going. Know what kind of wildlife is out there. For the love of God, do not hike with your headphones in. That is so beyond dangerous. There are so many signs that animals, as well as that nature itself gives you, to just be aware. Like, man, you're not gonna hear rocks falling or trees falling or anything like walking through the brush if you got headphones blasting in your ears, just in your own world. Like, same goes for a city, man. Like, it's dangerous out there. This world is unpredictable, unforgiving. Be safe, guys. Like, seriously, everybody wants to see those photos that you took. Nobody wants to find your phone and go through those photos. That's horrible. Yeah, that's I keep looking over at my phone. It's the first time I've ever done this. It's really weird. Any of you guys ever film yourself and you have trouble looking at the lens? Like, That's kind of weird. Well, enough of that. Peace be with you, my friends.